Well, here we are. It's been a number of months since I attacked this project, and to be honest, well, as you can see, we've moved. We're in a new workshop. It's all wonderful, but with all of the distractions involved in moving to the new workshop and taking on staff, etc., I haven't felt comfortable even thinking about this guitar. This is one of my defining instruments, I suspect. It is going to be amazing. And if you work on something like this when you're not in the game, as it were, you're liable to screw up. Now, one of the good things about taking a 3-month hiatus is that the finish that we applied oil, lots of oil, and then a wax finish on the top. And it is not doing this wood justice. It's now that the lacquer isn't, now that it's had a little bit of time to age, it's just looking dull and completely matte. And I don't think that this is what I want. So we're still going to be sticking with an oil finish of parts, but I'm also going to be putting shellac on the top and then oil on top of that. And I'm going to spend a lot more time working on that. Now, initially, I need to remove the wax that we've already put on, and that, don't need 2 gloves. That's actually going to be quite easy. Just naphtha or lighter fluid, something like that, will gently remove the wax and allow me to continue with the refinishing process, or the finishing process. And after just a little bit of work, the wax finish has been removed, leaving us bare oil just to play with. Over the past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of experiments with shellac. Well, over the past few years I've been experimenting with shellac, but I've discovered that a combination of shellac and oil is actually a really good thing. We have obviously just taken the wax top coat off this guitar, but it hasn't touched the layer of oil underneath. Now I've just made a wadded up bit of paper. This is great because it's actually got paper is made using clay. This is ever so slightly abrasive, and in fact I could probably use it just raw to polish up the top there. And it has, it worked there. Anyhow, I'm not doing a French polish. I am not sufficiently skilled in that matter, but I can just use this to apply a coat. Now, when I'm putting finishes on, etc., I'm either going to go all the way across and move forward, or all the way across that way and move forward. Now, another method that we've used to apply this is actually, depressingly, with wire wool. I don't like wire wool, but it certainly has its place in finishing. Small amounts of shellac. Something else you do not want is a drip going over the side. And that is going to build up over time, and we're going to have a stunning finish. The fun bit is obviously, well, I've got a lot of finish to put on. And I don't want to lie the guitar front face down. See, so I've just put shellac on that bit. The hook in the body does help. Can you see how I'm going up to that corner and then up to that edge, and from there now I'll go forward. And you long even strokes, and this applies whatever finish you are applying, just to make sure that you don't clump it in the wrong place. Nobody wants a clumpy finish. That's a good word, that is. Again, being very careful not to let any waste go where you don't want it. Here we are after 4 or 5 coats of shellac in one shot, and the beauty of the shellac is that it gives you, well, it cures, and it cures relatively hard, but we still have the beautiful pores, and it's helping the flaming and chatoyance to just pop. Now it is time to play around with some oil. And this is where we begin. I don't like wire wool, not with fretwork and the like, because the powder gets in pickups, etc. But it certainly has a place in finishing. Now, shellac, the way it's been put on, it leaves minuscule lines and scratches in the finish. And we want to build up, and the other thing with shellac actually is, if anybody ever plays this anywhere near booze, your finish will be buggered. So what I want to do is Danish oil, there we go, on the top, and I'm going to apply the Danish oil using 4O wire wool. And what this does is it polishes as the oil is applied, and rather a lot went off, rather a lot came out with that first bit. I don't want any drips. So yes, that's too much to go on one coat, really. Squeeze some out. So go with the grain, except obviously in those little bits that you have no choice. And build it up. Now, doing it this way means that you're getting rid of any artifacts left over from the shellac application, and also we're protecting the shellac, so effectively the shellac is an undercoat or a primer, and we will end up with an amazing finish. So sides, I'll get to hang it up to do the sides. Before we get there, the next thing to do, leave this to cure. Not cure entirely, it needs to go off. It's still heavily liquid. Ha! It is still liquid. Once it starts to set a little bit, you want to rub the excess off, and that's where the finish comes in. Get rid of the excess, otherwise it'll cure with even worse ridges in. This is building up incredibly thin layers of finish. That's the whole point of this process. Once we have rubbed it in enough, then the time comes to set it aside at a normal room temperature, 10 or 15 minutes. The warmer the room is, the quicker it will start to cure. And once the oil just starts to feel tacky as you run your finger across it, that's the time to remove all of the excess with a clean cloth or a bit of tissue paper or something. And that means that all that is left is a very thin layer, and those will build up and give you an incredible shine. And well, this is looking good, isn't it? For the moment I don't have a spray booth in it. We're still building up a new workshop, and this door frame will do. So as it starts to cure, we wipe the excess away with a clean rag. And then it's time to leave it to cure for at least half a day. You can do this with different types of oil, Danish oil, tung oil, teak oil, etc. But make sure to read the instructions. For years I did not read their instructions, and well, frankly that was a little bit silly. Make sure to get all of the excess off. Any little drips and dribbles and runs will be very obvious, although this is only the first of probably 5 or 6 coats, and the wire wool in the next process will help ameliorate any mistakes you make at this stage.